So a friend of mine was given some eggs and she hatched them, and I saw that she posted on Facebook. Somebody said, "So what are you going to do with them?" And she said, "Give them away." And I said, "Oh, I'll take some. I could use some extra chickens." So she gave me these newly hatched chickens, just 3 of them. And so I'm have them in the house at the moment. They're under a heat lamp in a homemade brooder that I made. The brooder protects them from my cats, who are very curious about these little birdies in the house. I mean, they would love to catch the little birdies if they could and probably eat them. So we must keep the little babies safe. I have a towel on the edge of the top of the brooder because it deters the cats from jumping up there. They have tried to jump up on the cage, and they could potentially tip it over, and the cover could maybe fall off, even though it's got latches. But the towel is more likely to fall, which will prevent the cat from actually getting to them. So I got some new chicks. A friend had some eggs and was giving them away. So I said, "Oh, I'll take them. I could use a few more chicks." So currently we're waiting for them to feather out. They don't have all the feathers, so they are in the house in a large Tupperware that I converted to a, I guess you could say, a warmer for the baby chicks. I used this when I got my first batch of chickens. I used some hardwire and some metal strapping and screws after I cut out the center of the container. And I do keep them under a heat lamp just to make sure that they stay warm enough. In the daytime, when it gets really warm, I do turn that off. And I had to figure out a way to suspend the lamp, so I added a clamped this to this table, which is actually a table for a fish tank that I just put an old board on it. I did that when I had my first batch of chicks. And just cleaned out their water. They're very messy. What I did is to raise the water up, since they're a little bit taller now, is I have a pie pan underneath the water feeder, and I just added a smaller pie pan underneath their food feeder, so that hopefully they don't get so much food in it. But I usually have to clean it out about twice a day. So I guess I will document these baby chicks, as I will have to introduce them to my other flock, and I have plans for them with their own special pen, but access to the same coop in a sort of a secluded area so they can see the other big ladies, but be protected so the big ladies don't peck on them, because I've had other chickens introduced to my flock, others given to me, or actually kind of kept somebody else's chickens for a while with my flock, and I see how my ladies kind of familiar with each other, but you add somebody new and it kind of changes things. Hey, like, what's that? Look how big you're getting. Just a few weeks old. Their head is still very fuzzy, but the wings are starting to get lots of feathers on it. Hey, check out the camera. Yeah, there we go. We can see the feathers now. Oh, getting tail feathers too. Good. Look at you. You're just growing fast. a little bit nervous, but I try to pick them up and hold them each day and pet them a little bit because I want them to get familiar with me handling them, so they'll be friendly birds and not be afraid. Three little ladies. I had 17 in this box my first time, and they got too big, so I had to put them out in the pen during the day. But I think these ladies I could probably keep in here until they are fully feathered out before I put them outside. But I've got to actually build a pen for them. Here's a better view in the daytime where everything doesn't look so red. I have to clean out their cage at least once a day. They're very messy. They throw their food all over the place, but it gives them practice for scratching and digging in the ground, which they will do when they go outside as they're looking for bugs and worms and things. I just kind of pick out their droppings and put them in a trash bag. I have to change their water probably twice a day because they will get shavings into the water because they like to scratch and they wind up throwing the shavings all over the place. Now, to try to prevent some of that from getting in the water and the food, I did elevate both the feeder and the waterer up on some pie plates. I chose one that's about, not a pie plate, a cake pan, about the size of the container. So it's a little bit higher. And since they've grown and they're a little bit taller now, they don't have any trouble reaching their food. But sometimes they kind of knock the food feeder over because it's plastic and it's lightweight. I usually have to go in twice a day to clean out the water. That little jug will hold a lot of water, so I don't always have to empty it out. I just have to clean out all the shavings. What I do is I take it to the sink and I dump it into a strainer so that I don't dump all the droppings and the shavings down the sink drain. I run it through a strainer and then I throw them in the trash. And I usually only have to put fresh water in just once a day. And as they get a little bigger, they think about jumping out, and I don't want that to happen because I have 2 cats and a dog in the house, and I'm afraid they might be in great danger. I do try to handle them each day. I just take a few seconds to pet each one so that they can know that I care for them, I'm gentle with them, and I want them to trust me and get used to me. I want them to be friendly. I don't want them to be afraid of me, and I definitely don't want them to get in the habit of where they think they have to peck me. So far, none of my birds have ever pecked me. I have 13 birds outside. These little ladies will go outside eventually, but not until they're bigger. And because they're going to be new to the flock, what I plan to do is build them a separate pen just for them alone so they can go outside in safety, not be picked on by the big ladies. But they'll have an access way into the same coop, so they'll be able to see the other hens, and the other hens will be able to see them, but they won't be able to be in contact with them. This way they can gradually get to know each other. So anyways, I will document all that when I get around to it. So check back later at my YouTube channel for an update on how these little ladies will be introduced to the other flock.